My mother-in-law designed my baby's nursery with political memorabilia, and she refused to remove it.
I'm speechless, actually.
She's like, I just know this baby's gonna be a political science major when he grows up. My husband, 34 male, and I, 29 female, are expecting our first child. He is an only child, and his mother, 65 female, is over the moon excited. She lives about a mile away, and my husband and I both work. So she has made a nursery at her house for the baby to stay. More on that later. By the way, this comes from user Sad Oop. And if you want to submit your own stories, go ahead and do it at the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, her and I have an okay relationship, not antagonistic, but we are wildly different. I was raised by a Gen X cool mom, where we talked about everything and I was raised to be independent. We have our fights, but it's healthy, open communication. When I make a decision or set a boundary as an adult, that is respected without question in my family. My mother-in-law is a more typical traditional mom, very doting on her son who was a perfect angel. In reality, he was just good at not getting caught and telling his mom what she wanted to hear. I give the context because the mismatch between how I'm used to communicating and how her and her son communicate is part of the problem. Now, the story. My mother-in-law is a Trump supporter. My husband and I are very much not. We live in a conservative southern state, and I'm no stranger to Republicans. Some of my closest family members are Republicans, but none of them are Trump believers like my mother-in-law. Even if they were, they respect me too much to talk about it because they know where I stand. I usually try and do the same for my mother-in-law and steer our conversations away from politics when I can. It's hurtful to me that she's voting against my rights. My state outright bans women's rights to choose. Every time I go to the doctor, I'm afraid something's wrong with the baby, and as a result, I could be in mortal danger. I'm trying to not let her political beliefs affect how I see her, but it is hard. That's when she sends me pictures of the nursery. She's done an elephant theme. Hanging on the wall is a painting with the Republican stars and stripes elephant. I'd heard about this from my husband beforehand, but didn't realize how prominent it was. She told him, quote, I mean, I had to. I'm a Republican. When I first heard this, I immediately freaked out. I think it's inappropriate to put anything political in a nursery. I know there will be some hard conversations down the road when it comes to what conversations I do and don't want had with my kid, what I don't want on TV, etc. Republican signage over the crib feels like a bad omen. My husband's attitude is to pick his battles. He has no problem fighting with his mom if she crosses a line, but doesn't see the picture as big of a deal. I feel that if a small thing is a point of contention, what's going to happen when it's a major boundary that needs to be set? He was fine with me handling the situation how I saw fit. I sent this message, quote, the room looks great, but I can't say I like the Republican elephant hanging up there. I get y'all are Republican, but I'm very much not and don't really want that around my kid. Do you think we could take that down? It'd make me feel more comfortable. And I got zero response. This isn't the first time where I've sent a message setting a boundary and gotten radio silence, or we'd have a conversation over the phone and I'd think everything was resolved until my husband talked to her and she's still upset. To give my husband credit, he's not defending her in any way or taking her side over mine. He's just used to ignoring her, and I'm used to hashing things out. He's out of town, but when he gets back, he plans on visiting in person and setting things straight.
Okay, cool, good. I was going to say husband's kind of being way too laid back, but I guess this is how the couple is and how the family is, and everyone's used to it. Okay, let bygones be bygones.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been conditioned to this point. He's like, I know if I fight her over this, it's going to be like just a tooth and nail, drag out nonsense fight. First, I need to know though, am I overreacting by being this bothered? Does this situation actually warrant fighting with my mother-in-law? I do not want to set a precedent of me being uncomfortable with something and saying nothing where my child is concerned. There is an update. Just a couple of points I clarified in comments. My mother-in-law has made a baby room at her house.
John, we're going to get back to the story, but I got to tell you, I've been loving these pearls that I got in Colombia.
You are a delicious beaded man nowadays.
I do feel more confident at the very least, but I think these pearls pale in the amount of confidence an OK Storytime membership can get you.
That's right. You get 60 plus hours a month of exclusive live stream content. That's advice that'll make you the best version of yourself.
And it's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Crack open that oyster and get the blues.
But let's get back to the story.
We have our own nursery at our house that I'm decorating how I want. We were gifted 2 cribs and they have an empty bedroom, so I had no issue, but there was no discussion prior. I never asked my mother-in-law to babysit. She assumed she would babysit when I returned to work, which is okay. She's retired and lives close by. I have no problem, at least before all this, with her being a part of my baby's life. We're not in a spot where her providing childcare is a make or break. I work from home and have a flexible schedule. It'd be inconvenient, but mother-in-law babysitting a few mornings a week is more for her than us. I don't hate my mother-in-law. I don't think she's a bad person. She raised a son who is a wonderful husband and will be a great dad. She didn't force beliefs when raising him. It's a situation a lot of us are facing with our parents. 8 years of Fox News and the cult of Trumpy changing people we love into someone else. I'm trying to see the best in my mother-in-law and not hurt her in this situation, but nobody's feelings come before what I think is best for my child. Today, I spoke with my husband about my concerns. He agreed that his mother needs to talk with me when I have concerns and follow any rules I set forth. He called her, but didn't think it would be a fight because he believes in his mom. It did not go well. He's out of town, but when he gets home tomorrow, he's going over there to have it out. In his words, I'm handling it. Nice. We like a husband that handles it, huh?
So.
With his own mom. Don't make me handle your mom. What are you doing? Handle your mother, please. Update number 2. I just heard my husband's side. He spoke with his mom for 30 minutes on the phone, and it was a disaster. For anyone saying this was a way of her testing boundaries, you were right. It started with mother-in-law acknowledging that she read my text but didn't respond because she didn't think it was a big deal. He said, well, it is a big deal for my wife, and this needs to be resolved. She then goes into how we could use this as a teaching moment for how to be accepted. He reminded his mom that she knows what our politics are, and she knew exactly what she was doing putting that up. The conversation then devolved into name calling. At one point, she called him a fascist and said he needed to grow some balls if the picture bothered him, instead of making it an issue when his wife said it was an issue. And that's when I'd be like, hey, no balls? Guess what? You don't get to watch the grandchild anymore. Bye. Do you apologize?
Sorry, no balls? No grandchild for you.
All right, no balls? Dang, my balls made my grandchild. That's crazy.
Crazy how it works.
Yeah. No balls? Crazy. Well, then you won't get to see the grandchild that my balls helped make. So think about that.
Bye.
Speaking of things to think about, I want you to think about how you can listen to full episodes with stories like this one.
Wow.
And all you have to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any, podcast platform of your choice and just search OK Storytime. And there you will find the archive.
The
of
archives,
like 2,000 plus episodes.
They are complete.
They are complete.
Master Kenobi, they are complete.
There's nothing incomplete about these archives. But this story is almost complete. I mean,
I think we've said our 2 cents. Now the mother-in-law is getting a little egregious here.
So are we like going no contact with the grandchild here, or are we like? I want to hear what you have to think about the boundaries.
Said this already. In no sense is she a terrible woman, other than like a little fluffs here and there. I mean, obviously, like, because this conversation was held with the son and the father of your child, see how he feels. If he's like, okay, that crossed the line, because I mean, obviously I would, as my partner got called out by his mom, I'm like, that offends me, but like, how does that make you feel, hubby? Mm-hmm. And he'd be like, that's how she talks to me. I don't care. But like, I put my foot down and that's where we are. And so I think it's morally up to him as well to see how he feels on this conversation, because this blew out of nowhere. And
it starts like this is like a little snowball. It can like roll up and get out of control. It's like, do you want her talking to your kid like this hypothetically?
Yeah.
Like what happens when your kid disagrees with grandma? Now is grandma going to go on a tirade to him?
Yeah,
exactly. And I don't think like you need to cut her off. I'm saying like I think her time spent with the grandchild. I think the nursery now at her place, hey, you might as well change that room to something else because we're not going to be having you watch him over there.
Yeah.
And, any time that's spent with the grandchild is going to be supervised.
Yeah.
Until further notice, until we can get some kind of agreement here on where our relationship and where our boundaries stand. And you're not just going to, walk all over us.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is just, let's see what the end of the story before we get anywhere else, because I feel like this was a climax of a conversation before anything else.
Yeah, let's finish the story. Very typical. She said, your wife is the bad guy trying to keep her away from the grandbaby. As you can guess, this didn't go over well. He made it clear that her issue is not with me. Now that mother-in-law disrespected his wife, he's got a problem with her.
There we go.
W husband.
Boom. There.
Look at that spine, a freaking firm, rigid spine on that man. You'd love to see it. I, the wife, have given mother-in-law a lot of slack and not jumped down her throat for the offensive things that she said. It's mother-in-law that is putting politics over family. It was never about the elephant. He wasn't worried at first about her respecting our rules, but with how she's acting, he knows it's a problem. The conversation cut off there, but he's going over there in person tomorrow to start it right back up. He made it clear to mother-in-law this is not her child and she does not have decision-making power.
Like I called it.
Yes. I'll update tomorrow if there's any big developments, but as of right now, I feel validated that something was indeed off, and I'm grateful that my husband and I are on the same page and supporting each other. There are some comments. Number 1, she can have whatever she likes in her own home, of course. My kid just wouldn't be one of the things that's ever in that room of her house.
That's what we said. We said that. You could do that in your own house.
My mother-in-law tried to set up a nursery to play house with our kids at her house, and we completely leveled with her that there was 0 point. Our kids would never spend any time and have never spent any time with her unaccompanied by us, and would 100% of the time be sleeping in their playpens and eventually an air mattress in the same room with us. The type of person who pushes their opinions onto others is the same person who will justify trampling boundaries and doing whatever they feel like with your kid if they believe that it's right. Comment number 2 is your mother-in-law shouldn't be projecting her political views onto her future grandbaby. It's giving off weird and inappropriate behavior. If she wants to even have a part of your baby's life, she needs to respect your boundaries. Before you know it, she's going to start buying Trump baby clothes, which honestly is hilarious. Not going to lie. But that is the end of that story.